At Celerant, we're excited to announce the latest version of Stratus Enterprise is now available, Stratus version 266. On your client portal, you can download the complete release notes and read all about the latest features, enhancements, and integrations available in the latest version. In addition to version 266, we also recently announced new vendor integrations, which are not version specific. So what that means is you can add those on to your Stratus system at any time. Those new vendor integrations include distributors such as Rothko, Second Amendment Wholesale, and Big Rock Sports, all of which are intended for the outdoor sporting goods industry. But in today's video, we wanted to take a few minutes and show you just a handful of the newest features that are now made available in Stratus Enterprise 266.
In Stratus, we're first going to look at the frequent buyer program. What you're looking at here is the back office master menu. The frequent buyer program is the concept where you buy, say, 12 of something and get a free item, get the 13th free, for example. This is common in a lot of different retail stores, and what we're going to do is we actually utilize a coupon so that you can have a little bit more flexibility in terms of being able to limit how available this is, what items are available to be redeemed, as well as how long the reward is good for. So it does span over a period of time. So you could say for every 12 items you purchase, gives the 13th free, and then maybe that lasts for the next 6 months, the next year, maybe indefinitely. So what you would want to do to set this up is you go under customers and then go under the setup option for customers. From there, you will go down to the membership coupon templates. And you can see here I have one set up already. I could click on new, or I can click on edit the pencil icon. So the first thing you do is you set up the coupon template. You can give it a name. Mine's FB100 for frequent buyer. Gives it the prefix. So this is going to be used for when the reward, the coupon is generated. It's going to be a unique coupon for each customer, and we actually will take this value and jumble it up so you can't guess what the next coupon, the available coupon code is to prevent, loss prevention. Next, you set it up as a frequent buyer incentive type. In this case, I'm going to set mine up as being a reward % off. So I'm going to give 100% off, a minimum spend of 1 cent, and it's good for, it's valid for use is 0. So as soon as I earn it, I can start using it. I could set this to 1, 2, 3 days out. So what that means is that when a customer earns the reward, this coupon will not be eligible until, say, 3 days from the time they earned it. If you set it to 0, it will be eligible as soon as they earn it. The next thing is the expires after days. So again, this gives us the flexibility to be able to say this coupon, this reward is only available for 30 days. So you can set it up as 365. You can set it up as however many days you want, but this just gives you a little bit more control, so you don't have all of these reward coupons sitting out there just waiting to be redeemed. Next, you can set all the apply to all stores, and then there's some additional settings that are typical coupon settings where you can define whether or not it can apply to a sale or a markdown item, if it can be applied or stacked onto another discount, if it requires a customer, so on and so forth. So once you have that set, you can then also set what items are eligible, whether it be the base products are the same as the associated products or not. So in this case, you could say that we're going to use the brand of Taste of the Wild. So that's the first step, is creating the coupon template. Once the coupon template is created, the next thing that you would do is you'd actually create the frequent buyer program and link that coupon template. So to do that, you can go back to the back office master menu, click under promotions and markdown, and go down to the frequent buyer program. This will allow you to, again, I've already created one on my system, but you can create a new one, or you can use the action buttons or use the pencil icon. So again, this is what you're doing is you're determining the description of the frequent buyer program. This is where you would select the template that we just created. And then you define, okay, they need to purchase, the customer needs to purchase how many in order to earn the reward. In this case, this is set up as a quantity needed as being 12. We did set this up to be applied to all stores. We have activation. We set this up for the year 2020. And then you can also set it up to print a specific text on the coupon receipt so that you can go through and say for every 12 you purchase, you will earn one free item. You can set this up however you want. This is just open text for you to enter in some type of message if you'd like. The next thing is that you would set up what items are eligible to be in the frequent buyer program. So in this case, I set it up with brands. You can also set a number of different options. You can see here typical OF fields. So you have all 20 OF fields. You have the type, department type, subtype. So you can do it based off of a number of different options. You can do it for description, so on and so forth. So add different filtering criteria so that you don't have to go through and select specific items every single time. So the nice thing with this piece is that if you do this, you're using this filter concept, then any new item that comes in that is, for example, the brand of Taste of the Wild, it would actually be eligible for this frequent buyer without you having to come in and maintain the frequent buyer program. That takes us through the setup piece of it. So once you have that set up, the next thing is going to be is that a customer is going to start coming into the store and start buying the merchandise. So what we can do here is we can go in and we can click on the customer. We can bring up a customer. And then I can go ahead and add in the item. And this is a Taste of the Wild item. So I'm going to go ahead and click on pay. I'm not going to do a roundup. Go ahead and cash out. And we're not going to print it at this point. So now that we sold the item to the customer, we can come in, look at the customer. We are now able to scroll down and there's a button in the POS designer that we can click on that we can add to the point of sale frequent buyer count. This gives us the frequent buyer programs that the customer is enrolled in. It also gives us the number that they've accumulated so far, the quantity that is needed, and then the activation, deactivation date. From here, you are able to adjust the count if you want to, or you can view the detail. And the view of the detail gives you the ability to see all the incrementing sales, as well as anything that was returned, any adjustments that were made. And as you can see here, there's actually a coupon has been already issued for this customer. You can see what coupons were used and which ones were expired. So if a customer comes in and asks what was the status of their progress in the frequent buyer program, you have all of this information directly at the point of sale. So if we come back in and now we buy the item and we want to use the reward, again, there's a right nav button that you can add through your point of sale designer. Available rewards. You can see here, this is the frequent buyer coupon that was sitting out there. So I can then select that and apply selected. And it then has discounted that free item. And now I can go ahead and complete the sale. And that takes us through the use of the frequent buyer program in terms of the setup, the selling to enroll a customer and accumulate, as well as the showing the redemption of the frequent buyer reward. Next, we're going to look at the ASTRO loyalty frequent buyer integration. This is geared towards pet retailers, in which case the benefit is that it streamlines the process of submitting frequent buyer rebates to the manufacturers through ASTRO. In order to utilize the ASTRO, it's a seamless process. There is some configuration, but once you have it configured, what you can do is you can bring up the customer. And once you have the customer entered in on the point of sale transaction, you can then scan in the item. And once you have the item scanned in, then you can go through the process of clicking on pay. And this happens to be a roundup prompt, so that if you do have roundup configured on your point of sale, you can ask customers if they'd like to round up to the nearest dollar, in which case you can then take that and donate it to a local charity. I'm going to go ahead and say no. From here, we go ahead and go through the process of clicking on pay. Go ahead and finish. This is the green receipt prompt, in which case you're able to print the receipt, email the receipt, both or no print. At this point, I'm not going to print anything. And the benefit with this is now it's set up to where it's gone over to ASTRO Loyalty. So if we go under ASTRO Loyalty in their portal, I can bring up that customer, select that customer, and I can see here that they have purchased one item towards that frequent buyer program. So again, it's all seamless integration, in which case now you're able to use ASTRO to submit to your manufacturers as needed. Next, we're going to be looking at the use of the open PLU item. That can be used as a special order item, which we can then flip over to a purchase order. And when you email or print the purchase order, you will have all the necessary information for the vendor. This tool is a nice feature to have when a customer walks in and is looking for, let's say, a pair of shoes or something like that that you don't have in stock and that you don't want to add to your inventory matrix. So it's a special order, but you don't want to direct them to your website. You want to capture the sale right away. So the best way to handle this is to go under the customer tab, bring up the customer. Once I have the customer brought up, then I can go ahead and say, this is a special order because it's not an item that I stock. So now that I'm at a special order, I can then add in that open PLU item. So in this case, we're going to say that it's this open PLU item. This is a pair of shoes. So at this point, I've gone through, I've determined the price. Let's say the price is going to be $78.99. And this is going to be a pair of Adidas shoes. And we're going to go ahead and look at, we can put in the code if you want. We can also override the description. So we can say that this is the All-Star Pro. We need it in the size 12, and we want it in the color red. So we have all this information here. We're able to add it on here. We now have the sale on here. I can then also take it one step further and go under transaction settings, go under comments and say, just flag it. It's a nice feature to be able to flag it as that. So at this point now I can go ahead and complete the sale. So the customer is aware. You can even ask them for a donation if you'd like to round up. At this point, what you're doing is you're capturing the customer's information, you're capturing the sale. The customer's not having to go online or anything. So I can come in, enter in the dollar amount that they're paying, finalize the sale. That gets the customer out the door, and now we're back to square one. Once we have the sale entered in, now the next step is to go through the process of ordering it from the vendor. So to do that, what we can do is we can go under vendor management. This is the back office screen. So we go down to vendor management to make POs from customer orders. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and can do an advanced search. I can look at it and say, okay, give me anything that is. Oops. I can filter and do a search. That gives me the non-stock item, that open PLU item, tells me who the customer is. This is where the comments come into play. You're able to see that is an Adidas special order. And what I can do then is I can go ahead and click on Make PO. I can go down, we're going to create it for this store, and then we'll select the vendor, do a search. We can go into Adidas, and if we click on OK, that gives us the PO. We can see here. So the PO is now created. And again, it's still using that non-stock item, so it's sort of just a placeholder at this point. However, if I go through the process of saving it and printing it, you are now able to see that it does print out the information that I entered in at the point of sale. So it has the brand, it has the product I entered in, the description, the color, the size. So I'm now able to get that item ordered. The next thing that we're going to look at is the addition of the department type, subtype 1 through 5, as an available column to the SKU store list. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out here at the Stratus back office main menu. We can go under product management. We're able to look at the SKU store list. And from here, then we can do the search. In which case, once the results are come back, you can see here that we have the department type, subtype 1. We also have subtype 2, subtype 3. If you go down that far, to have all that information here on the list screen so you can identify it easily, as well as you can use the action in the print list to be able to export that information to an Excel file if desired. And then you can go through and click on export, and it will export out the information as well.
Those features plus many more are now available in the latest version of Stratus Enterprise. Log into your client portal to download the full release notes and read about all the new features that are now available. We encourage every client who's up to date with your software assurance to email updates@celerant.com to schedule your update. For those clients who may not be up to date with your software assurance, feel free to reach out to your sales rep anytime to discuss your options.